It took me too long to get where I am. You shot a hostage. The department wants to make sure you're fit to return to duty.
I don't remember inviting you to the briefing. Not only was she stabbed multiple times in the chest, this was carved in her forehead.
The killer is playing a game of chess. I know chess. Give me a chance. They go together. Pawn to c4. It's a chess move.
There's been another murder.
White Knight, from the carving on his head, safe to assume it's another chess move.
Press is gonna have a field day with this. They're gonna say we got another serial killer on our hands here.
There's been another murder.
As you can see, things are heating up around here. You need to back away from this case. Someone's gonna take the fall for this, and I don't want it to be you.
He wants the world to know how brilliant he is. I suggest that you remove her from the case immediately. I can solve this. You know I can.
You two have been married 11 years?
Married 4.5, together almost 12. We're kind of killing this father thing.
We're gonna adopt a kid.
Where's Day-Day?
We'll adopt a kid.
Damien!
Tragedy has struck at a local wine shop in Santa Clarita. A man entered and opened fire, shooting 3 people and fatally wounding 1.
Have you tried reaching out to his family?
He hasn't spoken to his mother in years. Her name is Cassandra.
Who's Jason?
Set one more seat for Damien's mom.
She's coming?
Jason is Damien's husband.
Damien's husband. So have you made funeral plans?
We can talk about that a little bit later.
No, I know what my son would want.
Who you know?
At least about some things.
Both agreed that we'd be cremated and have our ashes mixed together.
Cremated? He is not burning up my son. We don't do that. No. Black people don't do that. I ain't no country homophobe. Let's get that straight, okay? These last few days have been a lot on me.
These last few days haven't been the highlight of my life either.
It happened. There isn't anything that any of us can do to change that.
I want to change him so bad.
I'm his family.
Did you call him once? Ever? So keep tossing up mother's intuition. You know how better our lives would have been if you actually would have been one?
That's it. I'm taking my ass back to Detroit. Happy fucking holidays.
I'm a watchman on the wall. Help the people find their way.
Oh my goodness, y'all. When I see that trailer that just played for The Lost Holiday, I get so excited. It is streaming on Prime Video on Mother's Day weekend, May 9th. Oh my goodness. So to all the moms out there in advance, I'm wishing you a happy Mother's Day. If you are catching this as a replay after the fact, I hope that you had an amazing Mother's Day. All right. So tonight's session, Real Success, always super, super excited because the topics just get better and better. If this is your first time tuning in, I urge you to go back, watch the other Real Success sessions here on the Megamind Media official YouTube page. Such good info, y'all. Such good info. And it's free, okay? It's free info. Go and watch. If this is your first time being introduced to me, I am Tressa Azarel Smallwood, your fairy godmother, always jumping in to give you lots of knowledge and lots of motivation, okay? And you can also catch me on all of my social media platforms. I'm on all things, right? Instagram, Facebook, all those things. But I love living over on the Instagram side at CEO Azarel. That's my page. Make sure you're following me. Tap in. Let me know that you met me, you saw me on Real Success, and tap in. Okay. So I want to dig in. Real Success tonight is all about setting yourself up for the best possible distribution opportunities as a filmmaker or producer if you are on the independent route, right? So, this specific topic tonight is not about people who are making movies for a network. If you are a commissioned producer, then you already have distribution, right? So, most of you all know from watching all the movies that I produce. If you don't know, go to megamindmedia.net, write it down, megamindmedia.net. You can go there and see all of the movies that I have produced, right? Some of those movies are commissioned by a network, a streamer, and that means that I don't have to worry about distribution because they are paying for the movie and we already have distribution, right? So right now tonight, when I talk about setting yourself up for the best strategy, I'm specifically talking to those filmmakers who bet on themselves, right? And let's clap it up for all the filmmakers who bet on themselves. They get out there and they want to give it a shot, but they're raising money. They're using the funny money that they've saved. Some people on credit cards. Listen, I have been hearing the stories, honey. I've had the opportunity over the last 6 months to really travel a lot, talk to a lot of different filmmakers, and they're telling me how they're financing these films. Sometimes it's through loans. I mean, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And listen, I'm here for it because I am one of those people where if you really want to do something, you will figure it out, right? You will find a way to get it done. Now, I love to take calculated risk, right? Educated risk that makes sense, where I really do have a blueprint and a strategy to getting my investment back. And so I do a lot of teaching on that level with my mentees and just anybody that I come in contact with, just making sure you know how to take a calculated risk, right? And bet on yourself, but to really get a great ROI and to rinse and repeat and do it all over again. So really, really happy about the success of a lot of the people that I'm talking to. But that's why we have these kinds of conversations where it's like, hey, let's set yourself up for the best opportunity. Okay. And how do you do that? So I'm going to give you a lot of tips tonight. A lot of the tips right now that I'm getting ready to talk about are things that you can do to set yourself up for success, but they're not necessarily in order because I feel like they're all important. So I'm going to use like a system of A, B, C, D. I feel like when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, you go back and look at those notes and you're thinking this number one is the most important. All of it is important as it relates to distribution. All right. So if you are a filmmaker, a producer who is thinking about producing a film, a documentary, a docuseries, doesn't matter whether it's a short, it's a feature, short docuseries, doesn't matter what it is. I want you to think about these things before you spend money, before it's pictures up, before you start hiring people, before you take the investors' money. I want you to think about these things. Also, if you're a filmmaker where you've already spent the money, you've already taken the investors' money, you've already spent your money, you still need to think about these things because it's so important. Okay. So I'm going to run down the list, get you a pen, get your phone, write notes. You're going to need this information. Okay. So the first thing that is needed is to always think about your cast, right? So filmmakers, if you have not shot already, this is the perfect time to really make it make sense. If you are going to shoot a movie and you really want to be on Lifetime, go look at the cast choices and types and levels of cast that they're putting in those movies, right? If you want your movie to be on Hulu, if you want your movie to be on Peacock, if you want your documentary to be on Peacock, if you want your docu-series to be on Peacock, you got to go look and research what type of cast are they putting out. So the first tip is, that's your A, cast choices. Okay, your cast choices are super, super important because it's going to determine where you land, right? If I am going to produce a movie and I want to see it on a BET, I'm going to put some BET friendly people in as cast members. And to all my producers who, if you act as well, don't mess up your shot at getting a distribution deal because you want to put yourself as the lead. If you are not the BET friendly leading cast that they would typically acquire, bet on, and give you money for, don't mess yourself up just because you want to put yourself in the movie. I need you to think like a business person and not on an emotional kick. Like, this is my moment. Oh my goodness, it's my movie. I'm paying for it. I'm going to be the lead. I want you to think about it, okay? It's not that you're not talented. I want you to think about the marketability. And I'm just speaking to those people who may not have the influence, the following, the credits to make that happen, right? Because after all of this is a business, right? I get rejected a lot. I'll take a project to a network and they'll say, oh, yeah, this is not the cast we're looking for. We're looking for a higher tier, higher quality of cast. And I'm like, okay, I'll be back. I'm going to bring you that. All right. So cast. The second thing that I want you to do as you're preparing and setting yourself up for the best distribution option possible is I want you to create a pitch deck. I want you to look professional. Create a deck that has either the people who are getting ready to go into production. You would want to have your wish list because that means you've not shot the movie yet and you haven't locked the people in yet. You haven't paid them for a deposit. They're not official. So it would be wish list, right, on your pitch deck. And if you are a filmmaker where it's completed, your pitch deck is going to look a little different. You're going to have your actual cast members in there. You'll have a link maybe to their IMDb. You'll have a link maybe to their social media platforms if they have a huge following. But you want to show it off now because these are the people that are locked in and they're going to sell the movie for you. Also, if you have a finished movie in your pitch deck, you're going to have a link that's there that's going to say click here to watch the screener. That means they can watch the whole movie. If you have a trailer, you'll be able to click there so they can watch the trailer to the movie as well, right? If you are in the beginning stage and you haven't shot the movie yet, you're not going to have a trailer. You're not going to have a screener link, and that's fine. But you should incorporate having a pitch deck in the plan. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that need to be in the deck, but that's not what this conversation is for tonight. You just need to know you have to have this deck as you are preparing and setting yourself up for good distribution. It makes a difference if you are sending somebody an email and you're looking for distribution. And if you're just like, hey, how are you? Here's the link. Watch my movie. Versus here's a deck. Gives you the tone of the movie, gives you information on the people involved. It's a big difference, okay? It's a big difference. So I want you to start walking like you got it, okay? Think big. I want you to think big. That's the message for tonight. Think big, okay? All right. And then if you want to learn more about pitch decks, you should send me a message so that you can get into some of the free chats that I have for filmmakers on Zoom where we can interact. I can answer your questions in real time. We do those. We're actually having one next week. But send me a message and just say, hey, can you send me the link to your Zoom session? Okay. All right, let's keep it going with some of the things that you need to do for your best distribution strategies. Another thing is that you need to make sure you have a clear marketing plan, a clear marketing plan. And I use that adjective clear marketing plan because not just a plan, a clear plan, a distinct plan, a descriptive plan, a plan that is going to tell exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Here's a really good example. And y'all, this is a shameless plug. At all times, you should market yourself and your product. We have a movie coming out, The Lost Holiday, Mother's Day weekend. It's starring Jussie Smollett, Vivica A. Fox, whole host of amazing cast members. Okay. When it was time to release this movie on Amazon Prime, on Prime Video, we knew going in, we have to have a strong marketing plan. There has to be a strong distribution plan. So it's not like you can just every now and then say, oh, where do you think we want this film to go? You have to consistently talk about it. And once we decided that we were going to release it on Prime Video, we had a plan to go across the country and do screenings. That's in-person screenings. We have radio call-ins. We have Zoom interviews. Like, we're doing all these different things to make sure we're getting the word out. And so some of it is digital marketing. Some of it is in-person marketing. Some of it is print advertising and marketing. You're going to see me every single day post something to my social media from here on out about it, because we are literally 3 days away from the movie releasing. And so it's really, really important for us as a team, right? As the production company, as the executive producers, that we really put some emphasis behind what we're going to do. We didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, we want to release it on May the 9th. That's not what we did. There was a plan. At the 60-day mark, we said we were going to do X, Y, and Z. At the 45-day mark, we said we were going to do this, this, and this. There's a lot of assets that have been created. All of the talent, they know. They've been pumping it, right? And so you want to get your cast members involved, but you have to have a clear marketing plan, right? And this plan for us, because we are now distributing this product, this is our first opportunity to distribute outside of a theater, right? So we went to the theater, we did film festivals first, then we went to theaters. Now we're doing our TVOD, which is transactional video on demand, which is great because people want to support you. They'll go either buy it or they'll rent it. I'm going to encourage all my people to buy it because that way you can watch it over and over again. All of the really strong movies that have great messages, I buy them, right? And so even in our marketing plan, because this movie is about a family, the holiday family who experiences grief when one of the main characters is killed in a robbery. And of course, we go on this path of forgiveness, grief. I mean, we're dealing with a lot, but it'll make you laugh because Vivica Fox plays the matriarch and she's very funny. So we laugh a lot. But it's just a story that resonates with everyone, right? And that's why we wanted to release it on Mother's Day. But it is all a part of our marketing plan. It is a part of how we're distributing it. Why did we decide to distribute it and release it on Mother's Day weekend? Because it's a story that will touch families' lives, right? It'll touch the hearts of mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers. And so that's why we decided to do it. So if you have here's a good example. There was a filmmaker who had a movie all about weed and he wanted to release it on 420. Hey y'all, I'm old. I was like, what's 420? I didn't know because all I do is work, right? But I found out and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense, right? If you have a film that is about Thanksgiving roast, you release it on Thanksgiving. Films that are horror movies, sometimes they do really well if you release them on Halloween. It's a part of the marketing and distribution plan. But guess what? What if you release it on Halloween and you're up against 10 other movies? How are you going to differentiate, right? How are you going to make sure that you're getting the attention that you deserve on your movie, right? All a part of the marketing and distribution plan. So, want to keep going. Another thing that I really want you all to focus on is having the necessary legal clearances for your distribution plan. If you find someone who is going to distribute for you, they're going to want to make sure you have things like your chain of title. And we're going to get into what that is in a few minutes. They're going to ask you, do you have your music clearances? Do you have all of your contracts? Like, a distributor doesn't say, just give me the film. No, there's paperwork involved. They want to make sure that everything is done correctly so that nobody is getting in trouble, right? So there's a lot to learn about distribution and setting yourself up. That's why tonight, the topic was setting yourself up for the best distribution options, right? That means when your film is ready, right? Your documentary is ready, whatever your project is, if you want a bunch of different platforms wanting it and reviewing it, you've got to be set up for the best situation. And here's why they'll like you. For example, we're gonna, go back to the pitch deck for a minute. If you have all of your elements in your pitch deck, they're like, oh, this is great. I have everything that I would want to know here. I've got my synopsis here, every question that they would wonder, it's going to be there. So now you've set yourself up for success, right? You have a screener link that they can watch. You've set yourself up for success. You've already told them information about your marketing plan and ways, brand partners, and things that you're going to do. Any festivals that you want to attend, any screenings that you've already set up, you're going to let them know. I would love to do these things to help market the film if you distribute my film, right? The other thing they're going to expect from you, and to make sure that you set yourself up for success, is you need to have the knowledge about all of the different rights and terminology. All of the different rights and terminology, you need to have the knowledge for that. If they start talking to you and they say, hey, we want your FVOD rights, your TVOD, and your AVOD. Do you know how to answer that? If not, I need y'all to let's get this knowledge, right? It's too much to teach tonight for real success. These sessions are typically 30 minutes, but you need to tap in with me so that I can teach you more about how to make sure you're knowledgeable about the rights, right? Knowing all of these windows, knowing what's first window, second window, pay one, like knowing all that terminology, the necessary terminology is the key. Okay, write it down. Y'all write it down? Know the necessary terminology. Okay. All right. So I want to pivot here and I want to talk about the top mistakes that I see filmmakers make as it relates to distribution, right? So they, people start saying, oh, I want to talk about distribution. I want to really get in the game. I want to get my film distributed. Can you help me? What should I do? The first thing you have to do is you have to become knowledgeable, right? There's always ways to become knowledgeable. There are classes about distribution. There's information out there online. There's me, that I teach all the time. Come sit down and take some of my more in-depth classes where you can learn. But the first thing that I want you all to do is to understand market value. Most filmmakers make the mistake of wanting a value for their film and they don't understand the market value, right? So I've seen people who will make a movie. They'll make the movie for $80,000 and then they're looking for $800,000 in return. And we're like, tell me how it makes sense. Who do you have in the movie that would warrant that type of money? Why would anybody give you that money if you don't have the right people in the movie? So understanding your market value of your product, right? We know why the Bentley dealership, the Ferrari dealership, the Rolls Royce dealership, we know why they can ask for the money that they ask for. There's market value in that. They've built up the brand. We know that there's a difference between buying those types of cars and going over to the Toyota dealership, the Kia dealership. The price value is different. There's a market value, right? You can't take your Kia and sell it for the same price that somebody can take their Bentley and sell it for, correct? Because there's a market value. So same thing with films. There's a market value for films, right? And it is based on the look of your film, who was the DP, who was the director, but most importantly, who is the cast and what is the production value. That's going to tell you the market value of your film. This is a mistake that I'm seeing filmmakers make. They don't understand that part. So when they go out to get distribution for the film, sometimes the dollar ask, the monetary ask does not match what the film is. And then they expect people who have relationships to make it happen. And we're like, wait a minute, I'm your fairy godmother, but my wand doesn't really work. I cannot bring in the dollars that you want based on what you're giving me. So it's really, really important to do that. Another mistake that I'm seeing filmmakers make is that they are putting music into their film products and they don't have the appropriate licensing. So a platform will take it down. right? I've seen projects get taken down because filmmakers are not putting in the right music. And so that's really, really important. If you get free music from somewhere, get the appropriate clearance. If you get music from a musician, where is the agreement? Where is the agreement talking about the rights, that you have the rights to use this music? What does that agreement look like? Did you really use a music supervisor who knows what they're doing, or are you trying to do it and you didn't hire an attorney and nobody knows what they're doing? You just had your homeboy, your homegirl, they just sang a song, now it's in the film, and now they're like, yeah, where's my money? You never had the rights. You got to do things the right way, y'all. Nothing bootleg, okay? Nothing bootleg. Write it down, share it, take a snapshot, video me saying this, post it. Nothing bootleg in 2025, 2026, and beyond. Nothing bootleg, okay? Another mistake that I'm finding that filmmakers make often is that they forget, if you get distribution, the distribution company or the platform that you are going to air your project on, they want you to get insurance, right? And this is insurance to protect them so that there are any claims if anything happens. And so this insurance is not cheap. It's not cheap on average. And I'm saying average, it's going to be at least $4,000, at least. If it's a bigger platform, you might spend $8,000, $10,000. It just depends on the amounts that they ask you to get, the amounts of coverage. But it's something that people do not think about before you go get distribution. Aren't y'all glad you met me? Because I'm giving you all this good information so that you don't have to make mistakes, that you get the knowledge, but you gotta utilize the knowledge that I'm giving you. Okay. Here's another thing. Before you get distribution, they're going to ask you, do you have your subtitles? Do you have your captions? Do you have all of these forms filled out? Somebody has to do this work. It is not anything that you just think it's, here's the film, I'm passing it over, right? There are specs. Companies have what they call their specs for delivery, and you have to deliver to each company based on those specs. If you deliver something over here to TV1, it's going to be different than when you deliver to AMC and when you deliver to Stars. All of these delivery outlets are going to be slightly different in terms of how they want you to deliver. You got to know. And even if you don't know, pay somebody who does know, right? I love hanging out with people who are smarter than me, because there's no way, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know all the smart people, right? So it's really important for you all to remember that as you're going down this distribution road. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, those are like some of my top tips that filmmakers make. I hope this session was really good for you on setting yourself up for the best distribution practices. Keep in mind that real success is meant to be a very short conversation where we talk about different topics. You get all this information, get it into your brain, retain it, but then go learn some more, right? So as I said earlier, go back, listen to the other real success sessions, share this with somebody, tell them they absolutely need to be over here learning from me, subscribing to the Megamind Media YouTube page, watching all of our movies. Yeah, Jalea, text me that question so I can see it. And then I can answer that. But yes, everybody needs to know about what we're doing here, because we're doing some really good stuff. And everybody needs to watch Rent by The Lost Holiday. Oh, E&O insurance. Let's see. You have one. What is the question, Jalea? I see you just said E&O insurance. What's the question? Let's see. Somebody has a question about E&O insurance, and they're going to tell me what it is. What is the question, though? Can we form it like it's a question? What's the question? What is E&O insurance? Is that what you're asking? I'll wait. 1 second. Jalea. All right, y'all. Okay. Yep. So somebody in the chat just put E&O insurance. They didn't actually ask a question, and we talked about that before. Yes, that's the insurance, E&O insurance. Yeah. And so what you have to do, though, remember, every time you get distribution, they're going to give you a list of all the things that you need. Okay. But it may be more than just that, right? But you have to just get the information from each platform. The big takeaway here is every platform will ask you for something different. You never know what it's going to be. If you license something or sell something to Aspire TV versus Bounce versus TV One versus BET, just be in tune with, they're going to give you a list of things that you're going to need. Okay. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. God bless. Have a great night. Talk soon. The Lost Holiday on May 9th.
You two have been married 11 years?
Married 4.5, together almost 12. We're kind of killing this father thing.
We're gonna adopt a kid.
Where's Day-Day?
We'll adopt a kid.
Damien!
Tragedy has struck at a local wine shop in Santa Clarita. A man entered and opened fire, shooting 3 people and fatally wounding 1.
Have you tried reaching out to his family?
He hasn't spoken to his mother in years. Her name is Cassandra.
Who's Jason?
Set one more seat for Damien's mom.
She's coming?
Jason is Damien's husband.
Damien's husband. So have you made funeral plans?
We can talk about that a little bit later.
I know what my son would want.
Well, you know.
At least about some things.
Both agreed that we'd be cremated and have our ashes mixed together.
Cremated? He is not burning up my son. We don't do that. No. Black people don't do that. I ain't no country homophobe. Let's get that straight, okay? These last few days have been a lot on me.
These last few days haven't been the highlight of my life either.
It happened. There isn't anything that any of us can do to change that.
I want to change it so bad.
I'm his family.
Did you call him once? Ever? So keep tossing up mother's intuition. You know how better our lives would have been if you actually would have been one?
That's it. I'm taking my ass back to Detroit. Happy fucking holidays.
I'm a watchman on the wall. Help the people find their way.
We've been investigating a series of murders targeting middle-aged women living alone.
I'm not suspect of something, though.
You remember Greg, right?
7-figure Greg. How'd it go?
He was completely full of himself, and he had the nerve to ask me what I brought to the table.
What you do need to start doing is dating younger.
What's your name?
Michael.
Michael. I'm Ebony.
So his name is Michael. He's a surgeon. He's so handsome. He's charming. He's confident.
Michael.
Is it for you?
Oh, these are beautiful.
Beautiful flowers for a beautiful woman.
Too sexy to be single. Like, what does he hide?
What's wrong?
So who's that guy?
Oh, Chase? Baby, he's harmless.
Is everything okay with Ebony?
You are not her type. You should really stop trying to get with your boss.
You're a plastic surgeon. Where did you study?
You asking a lot of questions. Are you dating me or are you dating her?
Excuse me.
What has gotten into you?
You need to be loyal to me.
Michael, you're scaring me. I don't know what came over Michael. I've never seen him like this. He also told me that I'm gonna regret breaking up with him.
Ebony, you need to put an order of protection out on him. I'm really afraid for you right now.
I can't stop thinking about you.
It's over. You can't be here. Leave right now.
Ebony, listen to me. Your life is in danger. Ebony, open the door. I just want to talk.